country, and they are looking at other areas. For instance, let me talk about hotels. They are already beginning to look at the specific hotels the CAF people will be staying in, but also they are going to be here almost every 2-3 months to continue guiding us on how we must organize that elite tournament of AFCON 2027. Of course, when you talk about tourism, we will be receiving a big number of tourists and guests, both fans who are coming to watch the game here, and that brings in money into the economy. And even before that, even our airline, let's talk about Uganda Airlines, will be bringing most of our people connecting from different directions or destinations which our airline goes through. So that also brings in more money into the country. First, then the other one is the infrastructure. This AFCON is going to help us develop additional sports infrastructure, which will help us to host other international competition, because as government, our senior minister guided us that we must have multi-sport in these respective stadiums which we are going to build. So I want to say this. For instance, Nambole, if the running track is completed, the work started today, we will be able, already African Athletics Federation wants to give us African championship, youth championship here in Nambole. It's about us finishing up the facility. We'll invite them to inspect. Once it is ready and found fit, we will. Rugby, talk about African Cup of Nations. We're already going to host it in July, August here in Nambole. So this is what the sports subsector can be able to contribute to the national coffers. And by the way, if you take a case study of Nambole, we as government got money through taxes, direct. Talk about other amenities specifically, talk about other drinks, talk about soft drinks. There are taxes which are embedded in that. That money already was collected by government. Number 3, the entertainment itself also. So the young people, and I'm happy that the government and our president and my able minister, we are doing what we can to tap into the sports tourism. And I can bet you we are going to do more and more as we move on.
My last question to you, Honorable. Shall we be able to see the next JJ Okocha, the next George Weah from the Uganda Cranes, from the teams that are here in the league? Is that a possibility, especially with 2027?
The team is under transition, that I want to say is confident. Number 2, we have young people who have got opportunities now to go and play football in different parts of Europe. That one I'm aware. And I've also quite a big number of Ugandans who are in diaspora who are already calling on me to move with the leadership of the Federation of Football Session. They want to showcase the talent of their children outside there, and that will be able to get us a good team. The Federation, I have guided them, they must begin to prepare a team for AFCON 2027 now. With the facilities coming in, my view is we will be able to do even better than the names you've given. I promise you on that.
Thank you very much, Honorable, and thank you for praying and getting all that. So you have heard what Honorable Obua has done there, especially when we look at, when he has talked about AFCON, Hoima Stadium will be coming up there. We also see Nambole, and he talks about the funding. I'm also joined by another Honorable. You're very welcome. Good afternoon, Madam.
Thank you.
How are you, and your name and the people you represent?
Nyachikongo Rosemary, woman member of Parliament, Shema District.
Ah, Abashema.
Yes.
Yes. I have seen a lot of agriculture on that road. Shema, Bushenyi, all the way as you go there. Does this budget speak to value addition of the Matoke on that road?
Yeah, this budget actually speaks to it, because when you look into the budget, we have this PPP project that has been in Bushenyi, yes, which is going to add value to our Matoke. This year they put in some money which they want, and they think that it is going to transform the entire region in terms of value addition of the Matoke. You know, the entire of Bushenyi and Greater Ankole generally, we are a banana growing area. So putting some money in the budget to add value, it is going to help our people, first of all, to raise the price for Matoke in the area. But also, we've been also lobbying for increment, especially on issues regarding to coffee value. You know, we are also a coffee growing area, and people want to grow a lot of coffee, because now when you look at the kilo of coffee in the area, people are happy about it. So we want to encourage our people, but also they cannot do it without the hand of government in terms of quality, producing quality coffee, in terms of handling, in terms of production, and then we get into value addition. So all this, when you look at the budget, it is a little bit balancing, especially in terms of coffee and also our matoke. But also, we've seen a lot of emphasis is put on the road network, because if you produce without better quality roads, how are you going to transport all those things that we are talking about? How are traders going to get down to Shema in those rural areas of ours without quality roads? So for me, when the government says they are going to improve the road network, I think we should celebrate it and embrace it. But also, a lot of money is going into PDM.
Before we get there, Honorable,
Yes.
You have spoken about road network in infrastructure. You've also spoken about value addition, but it has been hot. That whole corridor has seen climate change affected. Water is the biggest need for bananas, for coffee. What are you doing? Does this budget speak to climate change mitigation?
Yeah, Minister of Agriculture brought in the issue of climate smart agriculture, where we believe that they are going to add water for production. But also in the Ministry of Water itself, they have that program of water for production. So for us, we believe that if this budget is implemented very well and is done according to the programs that they've put in place, we are going to overcome this process of, producing only during the rainy season. In Uganda, we are blessed. We have water that runs throughout. The rivers are there. We can save even this running water that goes away and dries up. Why don't we utilize that using the money that we've put in the budget, especially water for production, such that we don't cry about drying up of crops, such that we continue producing throughout the year.
Thank you very much, Honorable. We really appreciate your time. Kanda bantu babshenyi send them agri Shema Ishaka Bushenyi.
Shema was carved out of Bushenyi. Now, so people should not keep on saying we are from Bushenyi. Shema is an independent district and one of the districts that grows a lot of coffee and bananas.
Abantu ba Shema baturamtsize. So you have heard from Shema there. The biggest need there is water, especially for their bananas and their coffee. Value addition, especially that now they have PBIT there. They're wondering if a factory can be gotten in that area, especially to boost the economy of each district. But also, even as we turn around to be able to see what is happening inside here, you'll be able to meet different people, especially that we're getting filled with the number of people that are with us. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you.
It's good to have you.
Thanks so much.
Honorable, your name and the people you represent.
I'm calling Modoi Isaac. I'm a member of parliament representing the people of Luseshe. Luseshe is found in Bududa, in Mbale.
Yes.
Yes.
Honorable, does this budget speak to the people of Bududa?
No, I think so, because we are looking at now value addition. We are looking at infrastructure. We're also looking at the issues of improving of the health and so on. So to us, I think this budget is very critical. The issue is to make sure that whatever we budget for goes to change the lives and the welfare of our people. So we are anxious because the issue is, the figures are there, but the question is the implementation. So that money can trickle down. For information, the issue of parish development model.
Before we get there, Honorable, also the biggest problems have been landslides.
Yes.
Weather.
Yes.
Your people have been moved to Chiriandongo.
Some have been moved.
Yes, and the mountain slopes are becoming dangerous for them to live in, yet their livelihood is there. Yes. Does this budget respond to such challenges?
It does. For example, in the Prime Minister's office now we have put there some funds. And our question that the funds are there, but the question is to implement. The implementation should be the question now. And I think since we are involved this time round, I can assure people of Luseshe that we have gone through the details of the budget, and I believe it's implemented later, our people will be settled. So
and when you look at agriculture, market access, how does Bududa, for all its products and produce that it has there, market access is one of the biggest challenges. How do you access a market from there?
No, the problem of Bududa, we are food basket of this country. The challenge has been purely three things. One, the infrastructure. The road network is so bad. And since you have mentioned the landslide has affected production of our people, marketing is one of them, accessing even the medical services. The second question is the finishing the product. We grow coffee, but we literally sell coffee in its raw form. So we feel that if we can embrace the processing of the coffee into the final product, why not? We shall reap more. And that's what we are now focusing on. I'm happy in this budget, the processing part of it has been taken care of.
Honorable, my last question to you. You're young people. are leaving, especially at the end of the year, are leaving to move to Tanzania because there are opportunities there. Aren't you losing labor, especially for people moving across the border?
Ordinarily, moving to serve, to give labor elsewhere is not a bad deal. But I think we must grapple now with the issue of employment. We should improve sectors. Agriculture is a huge sector, by the way. If we can plan well the sector of agriculture to absorb, and I'm happy the president has put what you call skilling hubs. So this will help most of our people. But to me, I believe even the labor export, if it's well organized, why not? I think it's a good idea.
Honorable, the people out there are really concerned with the taxes. They are wondering and they're anxious. The people in Bududa are wondering, did you represent them well? What confidence would you give them in this budget?
In this budget, what I can tell my people of Bududa is one. I think we need to address the big disease of this country is the drainage in form of leakages, misuse of funds. I think that's one. Two, if we give people services, good roads, we have Bududa Circular Road, Bududa Buchigai Road, we have been crying about that road. So if people see the services, I think payment of taxes will be easier to be done. Because the question right now is that if they see good health services, education services, good roads, I believe payment of taxes will not be a big deal. But the question you pay, and then the question is, where is the money going? So now I think that we have to go back and address the issue of service delivery. The service delivery, we as leaders must converge and see how best our people can get services, and they pay taxes, willing that's a form of accountability.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I appreciate you. So you have heard from the area of Bududa there, and they're also telling you landslides, coffee, and most, if you listen to the Arabica coffee, especially the sweetest part of the coffee, it comes from the Elgon part there. And he has said, you know what, we need value addition. We're selling coffee in its raw form. How can we get a factory there? How can we improve the livelihoods there? But also he has said a little bit more money has been added to the ministry, the Prime Minister's office, to be able to increase on the disaster preparedness there. And what more can be done to get buy-in from these people to do something about their livelihoods as they go on there. So that's where we are here in Kololo, and we're still waiting for the president to be able to start off this function, to be able to read and declare this budget of 72 trillion. As I have told you earlier, the biggest portion of this budget is going to debt, which is about 34 trillion, and only 32 trillion is going to be collected by URA. And when you look further, capitalization of Bank of Uganda is 7.8 trillion, which is clearing the debt that Bank of Uganda has done. But the greatest concern is the reserves that we have in Bank of Uganda, which can only cover us for 3 months, 3.5 months there. And the biggest question is what can happen to us as a country, especially that we have high imports going forward, high imports and less exports in raw form. We look at that. You can also see in the background the tent here is getting filled up by the people to be able to start off this function. And also in the background you can hear refreshments and different directions being given to the people here. But also when we go further to look at human capital and look at the numbers that have sat UPE or UCE, the capitalization grant that is supposed to be 20,000 for each student, does that make value sense there? 8.8 million young people in primary school. What does that mean for us going forward? And that's very important to look at education, to look at health. Can we all access health and this going forward? But from us to you in Kololo, we hand you back to the band, and then we'll be getting back to you to give you an update when the president arrives here.
After he has signed the business books, Parliament shall convene and we'll start with the anthems, the Uganda anthem, followed by the East African anthem, parliamentary prayers, the proclamation by the Right Honourable Speaker that declares these grounds as the precincts of Parliament for today, a communication from the Chair, the presentation of the budget speech, the speech that we are all looking forward to hearing, the speech that has gathered us here today, and this will be a speech by His Excellency the President of Uganda, with a delegated responsibility to the Minister for Finance. Thereafter, we shall have remarks by His Excellency the President, and will adjourn starting with anthems in reverse order, and thereafter we shall also have departures in reverse order. So I kindly ask that you take up your seats. Please take up your seats. and we await the arrival of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. I'm also happy to inform you that we have got several cultural leaders who are here, including the Iseba Ruli, the king of the Buruli Kingdom, and a high power team from there. We also have, amongst other people and the guests, the Director General of the External Security Organization, Ambassador Joseph Ochwet. You'll forgive me if I don't mention each and every one of the guests that are here, but just to recognize that all the categories are very well represented here, and we are honored and really happy to have you in our midst today. Ugandans are looking forward or waiting for the presentation of the budget, and earlier we witnessed with our own eyes the arrival of the Minister for Finance carrying the famed briefcase. The Minister has already taken his seat in the dais and is now waiting for the procession of the Speaker that will be led by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. So as we await the arrival of His Excellency, the President, we kindly ask that you take up your seats. We'll ask all our guests in the reception tents to please make your way back to the main tents. Thank you very much. Once again, over to the police and the prisons band. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Police Prisons Band. To all our distinguished guests, I'm sure many of you will have noted the movements that are currently taking place. The team, the procession is starting to form now. We have the Right Honorable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Clerk to Parliament, and service chiefs that are now lining up at the edge of the red carpet in preparation of the arrival of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. There is the team that is waiting to receive His Excellency the President is a very good indication that any minute now we shall be joined by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, who shall be coming to complete his constitutional duty in presenting a budget speech to Parliament. At this juncture, allow me to ask all our guests, all our invited guests, all our members of Parliament to please take your seats. Could I also ask that you occupy the free seats? Please occupy the free seats in front of you to allow for latecomers to sit at the back. To all our guests that are still in the reception area, all our guests in the reception tent, please make your way to the main tent. His Excellency the President is just about to arrive. I'm sure many of you can see all the indicators, all the signs now, especially that we have the first sweeper that has made its way onto the grounds here at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds. This is an indication that any minute now we shall witness the arrival of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. Once His Excellency, the President, arrives, he shall proceed to walk through the street guard that is mounted by officers and men of the Uganda Police Force. His Excellency, the President, has got one main duty today, and that is the presentation of the budget for the year 2024-2025. This presentation is likely to be made by the Minister for Finance, the Honorable Matia Kasaija, who is already seated in the main tent and is already in possession of the famed briefcase. This briefcase contains the estimates, the approved figures for the financial year 2024-2025. Once again, to all our guests that are seated in the reception areas, if you're seated in the reception or refreshment tents, please make your way over to the main tents so that we can have an orderly start to this parliamentary session. This parliamentary session, this is the second parliamentary sitting that we have of this, what we call the first meeting, which is like the first term of a parliamentary year. Last week, we officially opened Parliament for the fourth session, which is the fourth year of Parliament. And we convened here at Kololo to receive an address from His Excellency the President on the state of the nation. And amongst the things that he mentioned was about the key priorities that he hopes to achieve or implement during the financial year 2024-2025. So our gathering today is now to actually put figures that will now facilitate the priorities that His Excellency had mentioned in his address last week. So once His Excellency comes through, we expect that he shall go through the street guard, be received by the receiving party, and then the Speaker's procession shall form, and we shall allow for His Excellency to sign the visitor's book before we can continue with the procession. Once Parliament forms, we are going to have the national anthem and the East African anthem. Today we shall have only one stanza of the Uganda anthem, one stanza of the East from the chair, and then the presentation of the budget speech by His Excellency the President. I'm sure you can all see now that there is every indication that His Excellency the President is joining us. His motorcade has just entered the grounds, the Kololo ceremonial grounds, that for purposes of today are the precincts of Parliament. So His Excellency is on the grounds of Parliament today. The team that is to receive him is on hand waiting, and shortly His Excellency shall be received by the police with a respect of a street guard. So once again, I kindly ask that you take up your seats. All our guests or members of Parliament, please take up your seats. If you could kindly occupy the seats to the front so that we shall limit visible movement. His Excellency the President is just about to step out of his official limousine and walk through the street guard before he is received by the receiving party, comprising the Right Honourable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the Clerk to Parliament, and senior officials, as well as the service chiefs. The bugles that you heard are from the Uganda Police Force, and that is in recognition of the arrival of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, that is now making his way down through the street guard and coming to the edge of the red carpet, where he shall be received by the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament and her entourage. His Excellency the President official visitor's book. So His Excellency and the First Lady Janet, accompanied by the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the Clerk to Parliament, and senior officials, accommodated the presidential tent, where the team shall then return and form the procession of Parliament, the procession of the Speaker. Just a reminder that today we are going to witness the second sitting of the first meeting of the fourth session of this 11th Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. Today, Thursday, the 13th of June, 2024, of the 2024-2025 budget speech to Parliament by His Excellency in a role that he will delegate to the Minister for Finance. We invite the media to kindly step back now to allow for everybody to have a clear view . The three arms of government coming together once again of the presentation . His Excellency the President have been properly received and he has signed the visitor's book, and Parliament is just about to commence with the procession of the Speaker. Thank you very much.
Honorable members, His Excellency the President and Madam Speaker.
anthems. Prayers.
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society, government of humanity, we beseech you, look upon with your abundant favor. You have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this life. Let your blessing upon him grant that they may in presence treat all matters that shall come in just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to the charge. Amen. Amen.
Proclamation by the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament of Uganda. Number 24, proclamation by the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, the address on the nation on the national 2024-25. Whereas under Article 1012 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda may, in consultation with the Speaker, address Parliament from time to time on a matter of national importance. Aware that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, in accordance with the Article 1012, indicated to the Speaker of Parliament his intention to address Parliament and the nation on the national budget for financial year 2024-2025. Now, therefore, in accordance with the Rule 17.1 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament, I hereby proclaim: 1. That Parliament shall sit at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds on Thursday, 13th June 2024 at 14 hours to receive the address of His Excellency the President on the national budget for financial year 2024-2025, and the Kololo Ceremonial Grounds to be the precincts of Parliament for the above-mentioned purpose. Given under my hand at Parliament House, Kampala, this 7th day of May 2024. Anita Annette Among, Speaker of Parliament.
Communication from the Chair.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, accompanied by the First Lady, Mama Janet Kataha Museveni, who also doubles to be the Minister of Education and Sports, Her Excellency, the Vice President, Major Retired Alupo Jessica Eper, His Lordship, the Honorable Chief Justice, Chigamoy Alphonse Owinidolo, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, Right Honorable Thomas Daeba, the Deputy Chief Justice, His Lordship Richard Butera, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Robin Anabanja and her deputies, the Honorable Leader of Opposition in Parliament, Honorable Senyonyi Joel, the Cabinet Ministers and Ministers of State, the Vice Chairperson of NRM, Alhaji Chigongo, plus all the SEC members, Your Excellencies, the High Commissioners, Ambassadors, and members of the Diplomatic Corps, Honorable Members of Parliament of Uganda and East African Legislative Assembly, the Inspector General of Government, Ms. Betty Olive Kamia Nansango, the guest speakers from our sister countries from Yala, the Head of Public Service and Secretary to Cabinet, the traditional, cultural and religious leaders that are present, the former leaders, the head of public agencies, corporations and parastatals, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the second sitting of the fourth session of 11th Parliament. You're most welcome. On June 6, 2024, we had the honor of hosting His Excellency the President at the stage of the opening of the fourth session of the 11th Parliament. During this significant event, His Excellency delivered a compelling address on the state of nation. Let us join our hands and clap for His Excellency for the address that he gave us on that day. And that was for the good of our country, Uganda. Today we are once again immensely privileged and highly gratified to host His Excellency the President, who is here to deliver the budget speech for the financial year 2024-2025 in fulfillment of his constitutional obligation under Article 155(1) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, which states, "The President shall cause to be prepared and laid before Parliament in each financial year, but in any case not later than 15th day before the commencement of the financial year, the estimates and expenditure of government for the next financial year." Honorable members, today's budget speech is a culmination of a rigorous and comprehensive consultative process, which usually spans from a period of August to May in any given financial year. This process involves the various stakeholders and majorly guided by the 1995 Constitution of Uganda, the Public Finance Management Act 2015, the National Audit Act 2008, and the Local Government Act 1997. Your Excellency, the Parliament of Uganda has appropriately adopted its rules of procedure in Part 24 to preserve and foster participation and consultation during the entire budget process. This part of the rule of procedure comprises of 11 rules covering aspects such as the National Budget Framework Paper, the Ministerial Policy Statements, supplementary budgets, and appropriation. By so doing, Parliament is able to gather a wide range of perspectives, views, and opinions in shaping and informing the consideration of the national budget. In all this, legislature is guided by the principle that the national budget should reflect the shared values and priorities of our beloved nation and its people. Your Excellency, allow me briefly underscore some key milestones achieved by legislature during the budget consideration process. Pursuant to Section 9, 5 and 8 of the Public Finance Management Act and Rule 145 of the Rules of Procedure, the House approved the National Budget Framework Paper 2024-2025, 2028-2029 on 31st January 2023. Pursuant to Section 12 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 and Rule 149 of the Rules of Procedure, Parliament approved the Ministerial Policy Statements for the financial year 2024-2025 during the period of 4th to 12th April 2024. Pursuant to Section 8 of the Public Finance Management Act and Rule 150 of the Rules of Procedure, Parliament passed 5 tax and revenue bills on 16th to 16th May 2024 to enable the realization of revenues to finance the national budget for the financial year 2024-2025. In furtherance to Section 14 of the Public Finance Management Act 2015 and Rule 151-152 of the Rules of Procedure, Parliament approved the national budget for financial year 2024-2025 on 16th day of May 2024. And that's why we are here today. Your Excellency, we want to take this opportunity to commend the members for their dedication through the budget process in ensuring that we not only met the legal and constitutional timelines, but also adequately interrogated the budget together with the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the Attorney General, and the entire front bench. We want to thank you so much. I specifically want to single out the Minister of State for Finance and Planning and Economic Development in charge of general duties Honorable Museveni Henry for devoting time and effort to the relevant committees and the House throughout the budget process. Henry, thank you so much. I also want to commend the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to Treasury for his technical support to the Minister and the continuous legal guidance from the Attorney General. I want to thank you so much. Without preempting the President's speech on the budget, I would like to highlight very salient issues that arose during the budget consideration process. One, the need for continuous resource allocation to agricultural mechanization, agro-industrialization, and value addition as a bedrock to wealth creation and a sustainable development. Two, the need to increase funding to the development of the tourist sector to optimally hasten Uganda's tourist potential. Three, the need to align resource allocation with the prevailing government policy on rationalization, that is RAPEX, which should translate into enhanced efficiency and elimination of duplication and wasteful expenditure. Four, the need for resource efficiency measures to address the risk of the debt burden. Five, the need to increase the public investment in productive growth areas and deepen financial inclusion, and aid the growth of taxable formal sector so as to widen our tax base and improve on the GDP ratio. Six, Your Excellency, considering your consistent advocacy for integration of East African community, Parliament is cognizant of the need for strengthening and cascading the East African integration so as to ease the movement of people, goods, and services. Your Excellency, we share your passion and commitment towards the realization of the total federation of the East African community. Parliament pledges absolute support towards the realization of your vision for a united and a viable East African community so as to widen, strengthen, tighten, and deepen the economic, political, social, and cultural integration. And this would help us in improving the production, the trade, and investment in East Africa. The need to enhance the human capital development as a way of leveraging the competitiveness of the Ugandan population. Your Excellency, this budget that we are receiving today is a product of complementary working relationship between the three arms of government: the executive, legislature, and judiciary. This has led to improved transparency in budgeting process. We pledge to continue this cooperation in the best interest of our beloved country. Your Excellency and honorable members, today's budget speech is therefore an opportunity to demonstrate our commitment to prioritize the needs of our people and make sure that we achieve the vision of His Excellency on prosperity of a money economy, and that is through EMIOGA, the parish development model, the 4-acre prosperity development model, etc. Your Excellency and honorable members, as we embark on the financial year 2024-2025, I urge the accounting officers as entrusted stewards of public resources to exercise diligence and due of care in safeguarding and ensuring the efficiency and effective utilization of public resources. Your Excellency, previously we have urged accounting officers to share with the leadership of legislature any incidences of influence peddling. However, we haven't received any of such information. We urge the accounting officers to maintain open channels of communication and coordination with the leadership for transparency and accountability. Honorable members, in the discharge of our oversight and appropriation roles, let us avoid any inducement from these accounting officers. And this is prescribed in Appendix F of our Rules of Procedure, which talks about the conduct of members while on duty. Your Excellency, in the financial year 2024-2025, Parliament will duly exercise its oversight role of public expenditure through relevant committees in fulfillment of our commitment to transparency and accountability. Lastly, but not least, Your Excellency would like to thank you so much for according us an opportunity, especially for members who went and visited Gomba, Sembabule, and Kisosi on the 4-acre development model for prosperity. And this visit was an eye-opener for a practical transformation of the household economy. Your Excellency, your continuous inspiration and transformation approach to development and creating awareness to the populace that has led the people to follow your guidelines of transforming people from grass-thatched houses to the mabati. It is written in Lunyankole. I may not be able to mention how your book is written, but we know what is written in it, and we have really used it and tried to transform our communities. Your Excellency, I kindly request you to consider inviting the other members of Parliament who have not been there to see what has been done there, so that they can come back and preach the same gospel to their constituents. As we go for recess, we will be very available, and we request that maybe you invite the members of Parliament to go and visit that development 4-acre model. I now want to, as I conclude, I want to wish all our Muslim brothers and sisters a happy Eid Adha 2024. May Allah fulfill all your wishes as you've been praying. I say all this for God and my country.
Presentation of the budget speech by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda.
Honorable members, I have been duly notified that the Minister of Planning and Economic Development will deliver the speech on behalf of His Excellency the President, who is the Chief Minister of Finance. The President will then, after delivery of the speech, make his brief remarks on the budget of this financial year. I now take this opportunity to invite Honorable Kasaija, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, to deliver their speech on behalf of the President. Most welcome.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency Mama, the First Lady, the Honorable Vice President, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Your Lordship, the Deputy Chief Justice, the Vice Chairperson of the NRM Party, the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, the Ambassadors and High and Heads of Diplomatic Missions, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. All protocol observed. Madam Speaker, in fulfillment of Article 150, Part 1 of the Constitution, and on behalf of His Excellency the President, I rise to present to Parliament and to the nation at large the budget for financial year 2024-2025 as approved by Parliament. Madam Speaker, I want to start by thanking His Excellency the President for once again demonstrating a vote of confidence in me by extending my mandate as the Minister responsible for Finance, Planning, Economic Development, together with my entire political team at the Ministry. Madam Speaker, I congratulate HE the President for successfully hosting the 19th Summit of the Non-Aligned Movement and the 3rd South Summit of the G7 plus China, and assuming the chairmanship of both in January 2024. Now what are you doing? You're going to put it straight on my mouth? Come on, put it in a little bit there. Madam Speaker, according to the 2024 annual investment meeting held in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, Uganda is now the best investment destination in Africa. Let me repeat this. Madam Speaker, I congratulate His Excellency the President for successfully hosting, according to the 2022-24 annual investment meeting held in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, Uganda is now the best investment destination in Africa. Madam Speaker, His Excellency the President declared the 2021-2026 political term Ekisanja for socio-economic transformation. He guided that the government and the entire country should focus on creating jobs, wealth, and increasing household incomes. The budget for financial 2024-25 is the fifth and therefore the last to implement the third National Development Plan. It will also set the foundation for implementing the government's strategy for expanding in the size of our GDP from about $50 billion in financial 22-23 to $500 billion by the year 2040. In order to consolidate the gains so far achieved, the theme for the coming financial year has been maintained as full monetization of the Uganda's economy through commercial agriculture, industrialization, expanding and broadening services, digital transformation, and market access. Madam Speaker, in this speech, I will, 1, account to Parliament and the people of Uganda for the commitments that the government made for the financial year 2023-2024 that is coming to an end in a few days. 2, provide an outlook for the medium-term economic performance. 3, the medium-term priorities and strategies for growing the economy tenfold, starting with financial year 24-25, and 4, present the financing strategy for the financial year 24-25 budget. Recent economic performance. Madam Speaker, I'm pleased to report that Uganda's economy has fully recovered from various internal and external shocks that impacted performance in the past 4 years. GDP is projected to grow by 6% this financial year 23-24 compared to 5.3% in financial year 22-23. This year's growth of 6% is even more impressive when compared to Sub-Saharan Africa's average of 3.8% and the global average of 2.9% projected for the year 2024. As a result of this robust growth, the size of the economy is now estimated at shillings 202 trillion, equivalent to $53.3 billion, up from shillings 184.3 trillion or $48.8 billion in nominal terms. If Ugandans agreed to share this GDP equally, each citizen would enjoy a GDP per capita of $1,146 compared to $1,081 registered last financial year 22-23. Madam Speaker, the improvement performance of the economy is on account of higher growth in all sectors. Services, agriculture, industry are estimated to grow at 6.6%, 5.1%, and 5.8% respectively in financial year 23-24. In particular, growth in the services sector has been impressive, mainly driven by strong recovery in retail and wholesale trade, tourism, as well as communication and real estate activities. Growth in the industry was mainly driven by manufacturing, construction, and mining, while increased production of food and cash crops as well as livestock supported growth in the agricultural sector. Agriculture's performance estimated to have expanded at 5.1% this year compared to 4.5% registered in financial 22-23 is attributed to the streamlined implementation of the parish development model and fairly good weather conditions. Other factors which supported strong economic growth include: 1. Low inflation and relatively stable exchange rate, which have allowed good investment planning and supported export competitiveness. 2. Increased investments in the oil and the gas sector related projects supported by the foreign direct investment. 3. Higher external demand for Uganda's products, including agricultural and industrial products. 4. Recovery of tourism supported by increased investment in tourism infrastructure and marketing. And 5. Peace and security for persons and their property. I repeat this: peace and security for persons and their property. Madam Speaker, in March 2024, Uganda met the requirements to graduate from the category of least developed countries. Sorry, let me repeat. Madam Speaker, in March 2024, Uganda met the requirements to graduate from the category of least developed countries. Uganda also moved from the category of low human development to medium human development. This is the result of a consistent improvement in health, education, economy, and a decent standard of living. This is a big milestone achieved well before the country starts earning from oil exports. When oil and gas start to flow in the year 25-26 with the deliberate value addition to our raw materials and productive utilization of PDM and other wealth creation initiatives, attaining of prosperity for all and socio-economic effort will be faster. Madam Speaker, Uganda has contained inflation at an average rate of 3.2% in the 12 months to May 2024. Uganda's inflation is one of the lowest in the region. Annual headline inflation has reduced from the peak of 10.7% in October 2022 to 3.6% last month. The reduction has been a result of good coordination and of monetary and fiscal policies, leading to low inflation for most food crops, manufactured foods, and essential commodities like laundry, bar soap, sugar,